This is the Motorola G54, a surprisingly strong offering from Motorola in the 15,000 rupee price segment. Today, in this video, let's go ahead and take a look at 8 things that make the G54 very interesting. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and let's get to all things Motorola G54. Now, in the interest of transparency, I am collaborating with Motorola on this one. With that said, let's get to number 8 on the list, starting with something simple. What's in the box? We have the typical Motorola blue box. There are some highlights mentioned to the back. Inside, the first thing you see is the Moto G54 itself with its soft case on. The back, it looks nice. Let's first get that protective sticker that's covering the display off, and then also take the soft case off. Now this is the blue version. Motorola also offers this phone in green and black. Personally, I think the green looks really sick. Anyways, coming back, we then have some regular leaflets, and there's the SIM ejector tool. And finally, we get a USB Type-A to Type-C cable and a 33-watt turbocharger. It's quite nice to see Motorola include an actual fast charger in the box. This 33-watt turbocharger can get the G54 from 0 to 50 in about half an hour, and that's all the more impressive given this phone packs a solid 6000 mAh battery inside. It is interesting to note that this has been upgraded for India. The Chinese Moto G54, for example, sports a 5000 mAh battery with support for only 15-watt charging. We usually see brands remove stuff for India, so it's nice to see things being added for a change. Now, despite having a massive 6000 mAh battery, the G54 is only 8.89mm thick, and it's also surprisingly light at 190-ish grams. Most phones with a 6000 mAh battery are usually well over 200 grams, so this seemed nice. Now, to the back, Motorola's gone with a PMMA finish, which was expected for the segment, but they've done quite a good job. This back, it has a matte finish to it, and it doesn't seem to pick up fingerprints easily. It's still quite slippery, so I would definitely advise using the included soft case. I also like how this back reflects light. From a design standpoint, it's not too in your face, but still looks pleasant. And the camera array, it kinda pops, talking about which... We only get 2 cameras to the back, no useless depth or macro sensors here. The primary, it's a 50 megapixel OmniVision sensor. This one's been paired with a f1.8 lens that also happens to be optically stabilized. Now, under good light, the camera, it performs well. The colors are on point, there's a good amount of detail, and even under mixed or low light, it performs above average. With video, the chip inside limits it to 1080p, but thanks to OIS, the footage, it's quite stable. Now the secondary, it's an 8 megapixel ultra-wide, f2.2 aperture, it's got autofocus. This means it also pulls double duty for macro shots such as these. The ultra-wides themselves, they seem fine. The colors are close to the primary. Now it's worth noting that this is another upgrade we get for India. Other G54 SKUs, they come with a useless 2 megapixel depth sensor instead of this. Now actually, there is another upgrade. The aforementioned SKUs, they get an 8 megapixel selfie camera. For India, we get 16 megapixels. And this camera, it seemed to get the job done. The skin tones, they're natural, and even the portrait mode is fine with accurate edge detection. There are some other things that Motorola has provided that I feel are worth mentioning. For starters, the G54 has support for microSD. It even has an official IP52 rating to protect it from splashes. Next, there's a headphone jack included with FM radio support too, if that's something you like. Additionally, Motorola continues to support a lot of 5G bands, 14 here, and there's also support for VoNR. The display that you're seeing, it's covered by Panda Glass for protection. To give you some perspective, Panda Glass is the equivalent of Gorilla Glass 3. A quick side note, the display itself, it's not AMOLED. Now, given the price, it's a compromise that is kinda understandable, and for what it's worth, Motorola have gone with a good IPS LCD panel. It's got a centered hole punch, no water drop. This is a Full HD Plus panel with a 120Hz refresh, and when you leave it on auto, it can vary between 30 and 120Hz to conserve battery. While this might not be the brightest panel around, the media experience is quite enjoyable, and it's made even better given the presence of Dolby Atmos tuned stereo speakers and Motorola's spatial sound. Here, have a listen for yourself. Now, when you're doing more intensive tasks than just watching videos, say you're playing a game, the chip on the inside here, the Dimensity 7020, which happens to be a rebranded Dimensity 930, it still remains one of the best options for the segment. In fact, it even outperforms the Snapdragon 695, which we saw on the more expensive Moto G54. Which begs the question, why didn't Motorola just go with the Dimensity 7020 on both? Why? Anyways, this chip, it's paired with 8 or 12 gigs of LPDDR4X RAM and 128 or 256 gigs of UFS 2.2 storage. The software, as always, has been almost untouched by Motorola, barring a few Moto-specific features that we've come to love. While there are no intrusive ads in the interface, there are a few apps preloaded. LinkedIn, Facebook, a couple of games, but these can be uninstalled and you don't get recommendations when you install an APK or anything like that, so it's a relatively clean experience. Now, from an update perspective, Motorola's promised an upgrade to Android 14 and 3 years of security patches. Now, I would have loved to see 2 years of updates being promised, but once again, for the segment, barring Samsung, I don't see anyone else even making upgrade promises. So this at least feels like a good step forwards for the end consumer. Overall, the user experience for day-to-day use, it seems promising. In the limited time we've spent with this phone so far, it seems to run smooth with very few drop frames. Of course, it's gotta be the price, right? At 15,999 for the 8128 and 18,999 for the 12256, I feel Motorola's got the pricing just right. Add to it, there are card offers which can effectively get you the 12256 for 17,500 and push the 8128 for 15,000. For someone looking for a price-efficient phone with a lot of storage, the 12256 at 17,500 seems very alluring. Now, if you want to go the microSD route, then sub 15K, now that's an excellent price too. Now, leave a comment and let me know what you think about this Motorola G54 and if you'd want to see a comparison with any other phone in particular. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.